As we move on to chapter 3, I just wanted to make a note that I'm not editing these videos, and the reason being is I've developed some bad habits that are good and good habits that are bad, and I'm just sort of kind of putting myself out there with this presentation. So with that little interlude, we will continue on to chapter 3. Physical affectation. Injuries, disease, and disorders can have long-lasting effect on physical function and oftentimes cause recurrent health problems. Tracing the etiology of such occurrences is often hit and miss, unless there is an obvious causal origin, such as a major accident or trauma. I believe there is a manifestation of trauma congruent to timeline of temporal dynamic, and that disorders of the mind, organic considered therewith, accentuate their affectation at later periods in time. As a note, I do know the meaning of affectation, and that being demeanor, that means being expression, or being affected that way. This affectation is the ongoing influence where an effect is produced thereby. As such, I've used the word affectation numerous times in my writings, and I just wanted to point out that I do accept that some of the language is a little bit off. However, it's off in consideration. Therefore, a heightened disturbance at one point will be recurrent at a later similar point, making analysis of causation important to treatment, as well as exact diagnosis correlative in discovering the originating trauma or injury. We will discuss other models in the next chapter, but the focus here is on timeline congruence of exacerbated symptomology in approximation to predicted time frame of manifestation. Reflective resonance. This reflective resonance is particularly present in relation to behavioral and personality disorders, including the link between classes of disorders. A crisis occurring during specific periods in childhood later reveals itself as disorder at a period with a similar physiological construct. Though this remains unproven scientifically, there are correlates in the ages of certain disorder subtypes that suggest typing them can lead to discovery of the origination and vice versa. Exemplative correlations. Examples of this include antisocial personality disorder manifesting strongly in early adulthood after conduct disorder becoming apparent in prepubescent childhood. Later, whether because of activities and choices related to these disorders, or because of a genetic predisposition, translating into senile dementia with behavioral aggression. Illness, anxiety, and predisposition to worry lies comorbid with narcissistic personality disorder, the two interconnected at ages 17 to 20 and 81 through 90 years, conduct in states of dissimulation, whereby the pronounced exposure of the related behaviors begin and are very overt, sometimes recognizable as insensitivity in the early months of life outside of the womb, 5 to 8 months. Finally, as an example, codependent personality disorder lies comorbid with depression or separation anxiety, developing at 10 to 12 months and exaggerated as psychotic attachment in the early 20s, manifesting extreme anger and morbidity, causing correlative distress that can be recognized in adverse behavioral conduct during reflective times. Summation. These again are theoretical, and there is insufficient evidence in typology correlation to verify the presented variances and connections, but the similarity in behaviors across the classifications suggests something more in the way of a temporal dynamic involving reflective injury, disease, and disorder manifestation.